in the previous lecture we learned about regenerative cycle, and today we are starting with Ayer standard cycle. Let's first start with Otto cycle. First, I would like to introduce some basic terminology about this cycle. See, this is cylinder. You can see this is cylinder, and we have this one as piston. This is piston. Piston reciprocates inside the cylinder. Now, this is inlet valve. You can see this is inlet valve. Inlet valve, it's actually activated through cam mechanism, which you will be learning in the forthcoming sessions. And this is exhaust valve. The basic work of inlet valve is that it takes the air-fuel mixture inside the cylinder, and this air-fuel mixture after combustion is removed through the exhaust valve. So now this is piston. Piston reciprocates inside the cylinder. When the piston, you can see this is the piston. When the piston is at its lowest position, this is known as BDC. That is bottom dead center. And after reciprocating, when the piston reaches at its topmost position, then this is known as TDC. That is top dead center. Now the volume, you can see the volume, this is the volume which is contained when the piston is at its topmost position, that is TDC. This is the volume. This is the above one is the volume which is contained in the when the piston is at TDC. This volume is known as clearance volume. So this is CV, that is clearance volume. This is the spark plug. Actually, in like SI engine, that is spark ignition engine, petrol engine, or you can say, the spark plug, it ignites the mixture, which even I will be telling you in the within a few minutes. This is spark plug. Now this is when the piston reciprocates inside the cylinder, the total volume that is covered, this is the volume that is covered, is known as swept volume, SV. SV is the swept volume, and the distance, this is the distance like from here till here, that is from BDC to TDC, the distance that is covered is known as stroke, STROKE. So this is the stroke, and the volume is known as swept volume. Now I am explaining you all the 4 strokes of the Otto cycle. That is a petrol engine. Petrol engine is also known as SI engine because the ignition of the combustible mixture takes place through the spark. This is the spark plug. It ignites the mixture. So this is also known as spark ignition. Now, the first process in this is suction. The inside pressure, you can see, first let me explain the term. This is crank. The crank revolves. When the crank rotates, the connecting nut brings the piston down. Now you can see, when the crank moves up, the piston also moves up. So, initially, the pressure that is inside the cylinder is below the atmospheric pressure. That is the pressure which is outside, which forces the combustible mixture to enter through the inlet valve, which is activated through cam mechanism. So the mixture, that is the air-fuel mixture, it enters through the inlet valve. This is the inlet valve. During the first process, when the piston, it moves from TDC to BDC. The piston moves from TDC to BDC, that is suction takes place of the air-fuel mixture. Now this is the first part of this Otto cycle. Now then again, when the crank it rotates, the piston, it is forced upward. That is, the piston moves upward, compressing the air-fuel mixture. Suppose initially the piston is there after suction. Now it's filled with air-fuel mixture. When the crank moves, it forces the air-fuel mixture. That is, compression of the air-fuel mixture takes place. Before the end of the stroke, I repeat, before the end of the stroke, this is the spark plug. It actually ignites the mixture. Spark plug, it ignites the mixture before the end of the compression stroke. That is, before the piston reaches the TDC. Before the piston reaches the TDC, spark plug ignites the mixture, and this is spark plug. It supplies the heat at a constant volume. You can see this graph. I will explain this graph once more. Now, the piston has reached the TDC, and when the combustion of the air fuel mixture has taken place, the combustion, it results in high pressure and high temperature because the mixture is already ignited, and so high pressure and high temperature is generated inside the cylinder, which forces the cylinder to move, which forces the piston to move downward. This is the piston, and you can see the crank, it is rotating in this direction, that is, the piston is brought down. So it is expansion stroke, and only in this stroke, that is expansion stroke, power is produced. Power is produced only in the expansion stroke. We have shaft on which the flywheel is mounted, and only during this stroke, the flywheel store the energy which can be used for other idle strokes. So expansion stroke, it is the power generating stroke when the piston moves from TDC to BDC. Piston moves from TDC to BDC, it's all because the mixture, air fuel mixture, it's ignited and high pressure and temperature is generated inside the cylinder, and so it forces the piston to move downward. Now, the piston is at BDC. After BDC, you can see the direction of the crank. That is, the piston is moving upward. Crank is rotating in this direction, and the piston is moving upward. So, when the piston is moving upward, all the combustible mixture is forced out through the exhaust valve. See, this is the exhaust valve. All the mixture is forced out through exhaust valve during the exhaust flow. So, I will once again give a brief description about what happens. Initially, the piston is at TDC and it moves from TDC to BDC, that is, suction occurs. Suction means the air fuel mixture is taken inside the cylinder. Now, the piston is at BDC when the air fuel mixture is taken inside after suction stroke. Again, the compression takes place. The piston from the BDC, it moves to TDC, compressing the air fuel mixture. Before the end of this stroke, the spark plug, it actually ignites the mixture. So before the piston reaches the TDC, that is why the compression occurs, spark plug, it ignites the mixture. Now, after ignition, very high pressure and temperature is generated, due to which the TDC, the piston at TDC, it moves to BDC. That is again, high pressure forces the piston to move from TDC to BDC. And now, inside the cylinder, only combustible air fuel mixture is there. And this air fuel mixture, it needs to be forced out. And this is forced out through the exhaust valve when the piston from BDC, it again moves to TDC. This was the actual four stroke. Now, I'll explain this all the four stroke through PV diagram. See, first, during the suction stroke. During the suction stroke, you can see this is the suction stroke, that is at constant pressure suction of the inlet air fuel mixture takes place. That is, air fuel mixture has a constant pressure and it is taken inside the cylinder. Generally, this line, that is, actually this is theoretical PV diagram, but generally in the real one we have the suction stroke like this. And see, this is the atmospheric pressure and the suction is like this. It is below the atmospheric pressure. Now, suction occurs from 5 to 1, let us take that suction occurs. Now, after suction, we have compression. That is, we have reversible adiabatic compression. See, from 1 to 2, we have compression. That is, you can see the volume decreases. At this point, this 2, you can take it as TDC. You can see the compression occurs till TDC, but you can and this you can take it as BDC. This is clearance volume, VC you can take, and this is swept volume, VS. Swept volume, that is, piston moves from BDC to TDC, and this is the volume which it actually moves through. Now, from 1 to 2 we have compression. After suction we have compression. Pressure increases, you can see the pressure is increasing during the compression and the volume is decreasing. That's actually compression. And the compression is reversible adiabatic. 1 to 2 is reversible adiabatic. Okay. From 1 to 2 we have reversible adiabatic compression. Now, you can see that 2 to 3 we have constant volume. Now, 2 to 3 you can see there is increase in the pressure. You can see there is sharp increase in the pressure. 2 to 3 is actually during the process 2 to 3 heat is added at a constant volume. I said before the end of the stroke heat is added before the piston reaches TDC. That occurs actually, but theoretically you can see this increase occurs when the piston reaches TDC, but actually this is not. So theoretically 2 to 3 is when the piston reaches TDC. So 2 to 3 is heat addition. Heat addition at constant volume. So the mixture is ignited till 3. Heat is added. There is increase in the pressure. And this pressure it forces the piston to move downward. You can see from 3 to 4, that is from TDC to piston moves from TDC to BDC, and there is expansion. The pressure decreases and even the volume increases. When the piston moves from TDC to BDC, when the crank rotates, there is increase in the volume. So the volume increases. Now 4 to 1 is, let me make 3 to 4. 3 to 4, it's reversible adiabatic expansion. So, during this process, expansion occurs. Now, 4 to 1, during 4 to 1, the air which is actually heated, it gives off the heat at constant volume. So, process 4 to 1 is heat rejection. Heat rejection at constant volume. At constant volume. And from 1 to 5, this is exhaust. Suction is like this and exhaust is like this. But actually, exhaust is like this. This is atmospheric pressure and exhaust is above the atmospheric pressure because the pressure inside the cylinder is actually high due to the presence of combustible mixture. So exhaust actually occurs above the atmospheric pressure. Now let's derive the efficiency of Otto cycle. Basically, we know that efficiency is equal to work done by heat supplied, or you can say Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. Heat supplied is Q1. This is the Q1 is the actual heat supplied and Q2 is the heat rejected. So heat is supplied from during the process 2 to 3. That is, heat addition takes place at a constant volume. So Q1 is equal to M CV. CV is for constant volume. T3 minus T2. Now let us consider mass is equal to 1 kg. So Q1 is equal to CV T3 minus T2. Heat is supplied during process 2 to 3, and now heat is rejected during the process 4 to 1. Heat is rejected by air during the exhaust. So heat rejected is equal to CV T4 minus T1, considering 1 kg of mass. So the efficiency will be, this will be reduced to actually 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Dividing whole by Q1, it is reduced to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. So substituting the values of Q1 and Q2, efficiency is equal to 1 minus Q2 is CV, T4 minus T1, and Q2 is CV, 1 minus Q2 by Q1. This is efficiency. Now cancelling CV, CV. Now we know that for the adiabatic process, 1 to 2 is adiabatic compression and 3 to 4 is adiabatic expansion. For adiabatic process, we have PV power gamma is equal to constant. This gives T1 by T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 power gamma minus 1. You can see T2, so we have V2 here. This is actually proportional P1 and V1. This is gamma minus 1. Now V1 by V2. V1 is total volume. This is total volume of the cylinder. This is BDC. This is TDC, and this is total volume. Total volume from origin till 1, and from origin till 2 we have this as the clearance volume. So total volume, that is Vs plus Vc. Vs is the distance from TDC to BDC. This is the Vs is stripped volume, the stripped volume by the piston. Vs plus Vc. This is the total volume divided by clearance volume Vc is equal to compression ratio. Now this Vs plus Vc, that is, this is the stripped volume and this as the clearance volume, gives you V1. So R is equal to V1, and this Vc, this is equal to V2, or R is equal to V1 by V2 is equal to V1 is equal to V4 and V2 is equal to V3. So R is equal to V1 by V2. V1 is the total volume and V2 is the clearance volume. Now, so T2 by T1, this implies T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2. We have V1 by V2 as R is equal to R gamma minus 1. So T2 is equal to T1 into R gamma minus 1. R power gamma minus 1. This is T2. Now, similarly, during the process, this is expansion, that is for reversible expansion. We have T3 by T4 is equal to V4 by V3 power gamma minus 1. Actually, this formula it comes by PV power gamma is equal to constant. With the help of this formula, we can derive to this. PV is equal to nRT, we can derive to this formula. So T3 by T4, similarly from this R is equal to V4 by V3, we have R power gamma minus 1. So T3 is equal to T4 into R gamma minus 1. Now, substituting the values of T2 and T3 in the formula of efficiency. Efficiency is equal to 1 minus T4 minus T1, T4 minus T1 divided by T3 minus T2. T3 we have T4 into R gamma minus 1 minus T2. T2 we have T1 into R gamma minus 1. Or efficiency is equal to 1 minus T4 minus T1 divided by taking R power gamma minus 1 as common, R gamma minus 1 into T4 minus T1. These two gets cancelled, and so efficiency is equal to 1 minus 1 power R gamma minus 1. This is the efficiency of Otto cycle. You can see now, as R increases, so the efficiency increases. So the maximum limit till which the efficiency increases with the increase of R is A. This was all about Otto cycle. Thank you.